Hello, this is Force 13 Live. Good morning or good evening, wherever you are. Morning for most now, I think. The time is 4 o'clock UTC, 5 AM here in the UK, and midnight, ticking into the 4th of October on the US East Coast. My name's Nathan Foy. Hello. We're watching Hurricane Matthew on its, well, it could be a rampage very soon, but at the moment it's still on a close approach to Haiti, and looking at those latest frames, it could be moving towards a landfall. We don't know yet whether it will be a landfall or whether it will just skim that western tip of Haiti. Let's bring in the Skype team. Hello. I know that at least two of you aren't staying particularly long, so we'll give the airwaves to you for a while. Hank, Devon, whoever wants to go first.
I'm actually leaving right now, so I'm just going to say a few things before I head out. It was an honor being, well, I mean an honor, but it was a pleasure staying here for as long as I did, at least 6 hours. I could have been doing other things, but for a storm this serious, I decided, you know what, screw it, I need to be here. This is important. It's very important, you know. Thousands of people's lives are at risk right now. And, you know, Matthew is just a storm that, you know, I don't really think we haven't seen a storm like this for ages. I can't think of any storm that did the exact same Matthew did. The only storm I can think of that did something kind of similar, I guess, would be Hazel.
No storm is even close to analog.
I think that you know, just I don't want thousands of lives to, you know, just to be lost as a result, just because they were in an underdeveloped country. And, you know, I may be sounding emotional, yes, but you know what? I don't care. It's appropriate, okay? It's appropriate for me to sound like this, okay? So don't, you know, just, you know, like saying, oh, he's being a baby, whatever. No, I'm not. I'm dead serious right now, okay?
Thousands can potentially die from this. It's not a joke. If you're joking about it.
This is not a joke. This is not a joke. Okay, we're probably not even taking this seriously enough. You know, we were kind of joking around. At some points.
Sometimes you have to.
Sometimes you have to.
I don't say that flippantly. You know, you can't be serious 100% of the time, and quite often people. You know, when you look back on bad events, people often cherish the you know, the little bit of humor that comes in during these sorts of times. Sometimes it helps people get through it all. I hope we're doing a good job, and I've not seen too many words to the contrary. So
I think we're doing a fantastic job. Yes, but it just something just doesn't feel right. I've had a very bad feeling since at least May that we would have a massive storm in October that would, you know, go somewhere and kill at least thousands of people somewhere in the world. And Matthew could easily be that storm. Easily.
Sadly, yeah.
I hate to say it, but it's the way it is.
Yeah.
But
just pray that people are taking precautions right now and taking cover and doing their best they can to stay out of the way of the storm, or to just hunker down.
I don't mean to be going on too long. I'm just going to talk for at least one more minute, and then I'm going to leave it.
935 millibar drop confirmed.
Okay, Devin.
Center.
Okay, well, I'm kind of in the middle of my thing. It's fine though. Just stay safe. If you're watching from Haiti somehow, then just hunker down and you'll get through. I promise you, you'll get through this. Okay? I know.
It's gonna get a lot worse. Yeah.
It's gonna get worse, but you'll make it through it. I promise you. Okay.
You just gotta wait out. You just gotta wait out the intense winds,
and you'll be. I don't mean to sound alarmist at all. Okay. So I'm just gonna.
I don't think that's possible when there's a Category 4 making potentially a landfall.
Well, yeah, I don't want to sound alarmist, but you know what? It's kind of inevitable.
Yeah.
So I'm just gonna.
If you looked at the comments, it would be alarmist to say that Haiti will be wiped off the face of the earth, for instance.
Okay, well, some people are just ludicrous, but I'm being dead serious.
We know.
I think we all should be dead serious about this.
And we are.
Yeah. I'm gonna go to bed now, and hopefully when I wake up, if there's any damage reports coming in, which I don't know if there would be or would not be, then I pray that it's not nearly as bad as it could have been.
Yeah.
We'll obviously find out that as time goes on, indeed.
Yeah, so I'm gonna go to bed now. So.
Good night, Hank.
See you guys. I'm out.
Yeah. Have a great night, Hank.
Yeah. You too.
Yeah.
Well, you're left with myself, Isaac, and Marcel in the call right now. I don't know how long you guys are planning to stick with us here.
Yeah, for about maybe 20 more minutes, and I'm gonna have to head off.
All right.
Yay.
And what are Recon doing right now? Do we know?
I think they're trying to get into the storm again.
They're
I haven't checked in a while. I think so. I'm gonna stay. Let me see.
We wanted to speak to Devon there as well, but he had to leave us, unfortunately.
Yeah, the Recon is heading. It's still in the storm. It's heading out. I think it might be trying to go for one more pass, and then after that, they're probably gonna call it a night. It looks like.
All right. Well, there's your latest satellite imagery. This is the sort of all that I could personally bring up to you right now. I know it may get a little bit old after a while. I've just noticed that the 3:30 satellite images come in, and it's showing something rather strange. I'm not. I might want to bring this to the attention of everyone watching here. But something intriguing in the latest satellite image. I'm trying to get this up on the screen. Bear with me a minute here.
Oh.
I think it's this one. That's the latest image. That was 3:30 UTC. The current time's 4:08, so half an hour ago. You can see the storm. That eye wall bending round the northern side. It's the worst side of the storm, the side that's going to hit Haiti in a few hours. But in the middle, you've got the eye, and then what you could call an island inside that eye, just a little area of -70 cloud top, which is rather strange indeed.
And it's wow.
But apart from that, it's a big blob off to the southwest of the storm with lots of cold cloud tops in that whole area, and the temperature and the winds will be very high in that. It's just on the edge of Jamaica, the eastern coast of Jamaica could see some inclement conditions, as will southern Haiti, southwestern Haiti. Though those conditions haven't necessarily arrived yet, it will be pretty soon. So there's the latest image, and that's just an eye that we have now even less of an idea about what on earth it's doing.
Let me check microwave. See if microwave says anything.
Yeah, it's another form of imagery there.
Yeah, put it in a microwave, and then we got microwave. Oh yeah, still looks nearly the same with the eye wall.
Really?
The strongest part of it, of course, being to the north.
Okay, well.
Which is the part that's gonna get hit. That Haiti's gonna get hit by first, sadly.
Oh yeah, it's virtually certain at this point.
Mhm. Even if it doesn't, even if it wobbles a bit to the west, it's still gonna do some damage. It's still gonna cause mudslides and everything like that. Even if it wobbles a little bit to the west, it still do some stuff. And people definitely need to be taking this thing seriously and be hunkering down at the moment. And if not, then right now try to be hunkering down and making sure everything's good. Well, can't really make sure anything's good to go because the storm's basically almost right on top of you over in the southern part of Haiti.
Marcel,
What?
what are your thoughts in Colombia?
And Matthew in Colombia?
If you want to talk about what the storm did in your country, go ahead. But
Oh.
if you want to talk about what it looks like right now,
Okay, so the storm has, so all has returned to normality in this, and the sense affected by the storm and the damage were considerably were
and
serious.
you said earlier today that what was it, 1,400 people were affected?
Yeah.
Right. But did you find out what they actually meant by affected? Was that evacuees or people who lost possessions, or any ideas?
People who lost possessions.
Really?
And
So I'm guessing all those were along the coast. And
yeah.
are there any big population centers near the coast there?
Yeah.
Really? I see. Well, as for Haiti, things are going to get a lot worse for Haiti in the coming hours, as we've already detailed. Let's go through the latest warnings from the National Hurricane Center. Their last advisory, which came out an hour ago now, said it had winds of 145 miles an hour and a pressure of 934 millibars, and they're recording similar pressures right now in the recon flights. A hurricane warning is in effect for Haiti, the Cuban provinces of Guantanamo, Santiago de Cuba, Holguin, Granma, and Las Tunas. Southeastern Bahamas, including the Inaguas, Mayaguana, Acklins, Crooked Island, Long Key, and Ragged Island. The Central Bahamas, including Long Island, Exuma, Rum Key, San Salvador, and Cat Island. And a hurricane watch is in effect for the Cuban province of Camagüey, Turks and Caicos Islands, and northwestern Bahamas, including the Abarcos, Andros Island, Berry Islands, Bimini, Eleuthera, Grand Bahama Island, and New Providence. A tropical storm warning in effect for the Dominican Republic from Barahona westward to the border with Haiti and Jamaica, and a tropical storm watch for the Dominican Republic from Puerto Plata westward to the border with Haiti. And just a note underneath, interests elsewhere, in Hispaniola, the Bahamas, and in the Florida Peninsula and the Florida Keys should monitor the progress of Matthew. So, obviously, there's a few things, a few hazards. Of course, the winds are going to be extremely high for Haiti and potentially for Cuba, Category 4 strength. But the rainfall...
And mudslides. Mudslides
course.
and landslides, too.
And the rainfall could be even worse. The GFS saying a meter of rain. How much is that in inches now?
Meter? I think 3 feet. I believe in inches.
Yeah,
I got messed up. Sorry,
going towards 40 inches, which is what the NHC is saying.
40 inches.
Southern Haiti and the southwestern Dominican Republic, 15 to 25 inches expected. Isolated 40 inches. That's what they are saying.
It's a lot of rain in a short period of time.
Oh, huge. Eastern Cuba and northwestern Haiti, 8 to 12 inches. Isolated 20. Eastern Jamaica, 5 to 10 inches, isolated up to 20. The Bahamas, 8 to 12 inches, up to 15. Turks and Caicos Islands, 2 to 5 inches, up to 8. Northeastern Haiti and the Northern Dominican Republic, 1 to 3 inches, up to 5. And Western Jamaica, 1 to 3 inches, up to 6. Now, looking at Western Jamaica in the latest satellite imagery, it's showing, well, not much. That the storm... It's actually dry over there on the western side of Jamaica. But that's that. If anyone's got any comments or questions directed to us in particular, then you're more than welcome to send them in.
Yes.
The flow of comments is pretty quick at the moment, so there's no guarantee that I'll be able to see it. But a lot of people, of course, asking about Florida. Isaac, I'm not sure if you could quickly show us the National Hurricane Center's track forecast.
Oh, I don't have screen share.
Oh, maybe not then.
Yes. Like I could get it on my laptop, but that's like the slowest thing in the world, and I'm sure people want information fast.
Well, I'll try and get it on my screen then, which will take just a minute or two. Do bear with me as I get the image prepared. But I just want to get the illustration up so I can show you what it in the details. There it is. Well, there's part of it, and just size it down. There's the forecast track for Matthew from the National Hurricane Center, the latest. Now, don't read too much into what the storm's expected to do on days 3 to 5. That's rule number 1. Rule number 2 is if you're in the cone, speaking strictly for people in the United States, if you're in the cone, it's not yet time to put plans into action. It's not guaranteed that the storm will affect the area. Don't forget, there's 2 sides to a cone. The western side, right now, is where everyone's going to be worried about if the storm moves into that area, but there's also that eastern side. If the storm veers to the eastern side of that cone, then land effects in the United States will be minimal, if any at all. So, everyone who is in the cone should be preparing for the possibility of the storm, but they shouldn't be preparing for the storm as if it was a fact that it is going to hit, because it isn't. Indeed, the official forecast there shows the storm not making landfall. So that's that. But people should be concerned. People should be thinking about preparing. Do the precautionary checks, find out that everything's in order, have a plan to know what you're going to do and where everything you need is. And go ahead.
Oh, never mind. It was okay. I was gonna talk about I was trying to talk about like the world topics, but math is more important.
Oh, well, we can do that shortly.
Yeah.
So, evacuation routes, evacuation centres, maybe. I'm not sure if that information is readily available. But considering that Florida's already declared a state of emergency, maybe it is. And that state of emergency, don't be alarmed by that. You know, it has a scary name, but I would rather call it a state of preparedness. But that's that's the US or Florida government doing that. The people who should be genuinely concerned, people who should have prepared by now, people who should be ready, obviously Haiti, Cuba, Jamaica, but also the Bahamas. They should be ready now, including the capital, Nassau, and all of its islands. The US East Coast, Florida, should be thinking about it. And lots of people ask, I've seen a few people ask about Miami.
Okay.
Unknown.
I think that I need to go.
Okay.
Okay. Bye, Marcel.
Well.
Have a great night.
Bye. Okay.
The possibility of the storm tracking near Miami is there, possible, but not likely. And as for other big urban centres, unlikely at this point. And then people ask about the northeast, and you can see this is a 5-day forecast. So 5 days from now, expected to be near North Carolina. So thinking about the northeast, it's going to be beyond 5 days. I wouldn't even, I wouldn't want to speculate at this stage. You can see how big the cone is at 5 days. Imagine what it'd be like at 6 and 7 days.
Yeah.
Well, Isaac, I think you said you'd be going soon, so I just want to let you talk for a while.
Oh. I'm just going to go over the world topic for this a bit, just to let everyone know what's going on around the world. Of course, we have Hurricane Matthew. We have that Invest 98L, which will probably be, sadly, probably won't be named by the NHC because of knowing them and everything. 60% chance within the next 48 hours. Within the next 5 days, 60% as well. Eastern North Pacific, we have a little Invest, 0% chance within the next 48 hours. a 30% chance within the next 5 days. Moving out to sea, shouldn't be affecting anyone anytime soon, hopefully. And then we got one in the Central Pacific, 0% chance within the next 48 hours. And in the Western Pacific, of course, we have Typhoon Chaba, which is expected to go either very close to or make landfall in certain portions of Japan. And if I were to say the countries of Japan, I would probably butcher them a lot. So I'm not even gonna try. And then maybe even affect South Korea as a Category 1 or 2 cyclone on its way out to become an extratropical. 94C, we already looked at that one. 99 West, some models saying it might track over towards, I believe that is Hainan Island later on, I believe next week, as possibly maybe a tropical storm or so. Same with the other ensemble runs, saying the same thing on 99 West. Current satellite imagery of it looks, not really too good, but what can you expect from an invest? Again, we got Chaba, and then of course we got our main topic of discussion for tonight, Hurricane Matthew. Again, hurricane warnings in effect for basically all of Haiti at the moment. Tropical storm warning in effect for all of Jamaica, and
it's still an odd call to downgrade it from hurricane warning to tropical storm warning.
Yeah. Then we got tropical storm watches in effect for northern portions of the Bahamas. One southern portion of the Bahamas under a hurricane watch as well. Middle portions of the Bahamas are under a hurricane warning. Cuba, southern if I can even speak. Southern portions of Cuba under a hurricane warning as well. Middle portions of the Cuban islands are also under a hurricane watch at the moment. And then, of course, you can see the track forecast up there. Expected to come close to the east coast. Maybe not make landfall, but come very close. And either way, it'll make its presence known by giving probably some higher than normal tides, probably some squally rain or weather from the rain of this system, and maybe some gusty winds and stuff if the storm stays offshore. And that's really it for worldwide.
Okay. And something interesting has happened. Oh my goodness. Something interesting has happened. I didn't actually notice this until now. The HWRF 18 Zulu run, which was a while ago now, actually predicted Matthew to become a Category 5 on approach to Haiti.
Yeah.
I didn't actually know that until now. Actually predicting a Category 5. I'm not sure if it will get to Category 5, and nor do we want it to. Who would? The latest,
worst case.
Yeah, the 345 image is out, and I can tell you that the storm is still not really doing much, I've got to say. And I'll just get that image loaded up now, because it's a new one. There it is. And that image shows not much difference to what we saw earlier. You can see the bulk of the storm is still just staying away from Haiti. It's not going to stay that way, unfortunately. But Haiti is, at the moment, being spared to the last possible minute. The storm is still offshore, the worst part of it. But it will get bad. And when it does get bad, that will happen pretty soon, and you'll certainly know about it if you're in the southern part of Haiti. So, Isaac... Let's go ahead.
One person is asking how soon till landfall in Haiti.
Sorry?
Someone was asking how soon till landfall in Haiti.
Yeah,
the landfall in Haiti. Yeah.
Well, if it is a landfall, we don't know for sure, but we'll assume it is. It's going to be some time yet. The way the storm is moving, it's going to be at least 6 hours, unless it speeds up. At least 6 hours, which would bring us to 10 UTC. That would be just before dawn in the area, I believe. I think the sunrise is around about an hour later than that.
I think so.
But
I believe.
With rumours that the storm is slowing down, not only is that bad news, but it will also delay the landfall. So it could be
It also give
daybreak
it,
by the time.
yeah, it could also give it some more time to work with, sadly. But then it has land interaction too, so that could be a factor in it too. That might be a controlling factor of that.
That's right. So, well, Isaac, you have to leave us, don't you?
In about 4 minutes.
Oh, we've got a whole 4 minutes. Good.
Yeah.
Well, someone was asking about the possibility of whether the storm will re-intensify further over the Bahamas. What do you think of that?
Well, if shear, wait, we haven't looked at wind shear. I'm gonna look at wind shear. Hold on, because if that is pretty high, well then it also is controlling its environment too. I forgot about that, but so it'd be too much of an issue. I wouldn't really say I would say maybe a Cat 4. I don't think a Cat 5. If it does, it'll have to like rapidly intensify again or explosively intensify like it did when it went from a Cat 1 to a Cat 5 that fast. It had to be in a good environment and go fast. But I don't think it'll become a 5. It'll probably just be a 4 if it goes back out into the Bahamas. In my opinion, I don't know about you, Nathan.
Well, I'm not sure. The model's trending west. That's a weird thing that's happening. It suggests to me that they're predicting the storm to weaken more than they thought it would initially. But I don't know. I think it will. I think the NHC have the best handle on it right now, and people in the Bahamas gotta be rightfully
prepared,
concerned and prepared for a potential Category 3. Who knows? It could be even more. Again, as we keep saying for Florida, people going a bit overboard in the comments as they've done for hours now. There's a possibility for virtually anything, except a Cat 5. But the hurricane conditions, quite possible. Major hurricane conditions and outside chance. Tropical storm conditions is what I'm most concerned about right now, and they are at least a 50% chance for Florida. I know media outlets are saying higher, some of them. I disagree. I'd still say it's about 50-50 that Florida will receive tropical storm conditions. Let's not forget these almost doom forecasts, not quite, but these forecasts can go horribly wrong for a forecaster's point of view. Erica, one example from last year, predicted to hit Florida as a hurricane, didn't, died ages before it got anywhere near. This storm, I won't say will do the same, but it could be substantially weaker than we are thinking. Obviously not for Haiti and Cuba, I wouldn't say that at all, but the Bahamas maybe not either, but for Florida it could be weaker by then. And Hurricane Sandy managed to weaken to a tropical storm on its closest approach to Florida, but it won't be a Sandy after that either. It's not going to do one of those stunts.
Wow.
But as we tick over to 30 minutes past 4 Universal Time, we're just sort of in the same boat as everyone watching, wondering what the storm's going to do next. I've pledged to be here for as long as we seem to be required, and we've still got plenty of people tuning in, so I assume that people still want to know about what the storm's doing, and I'll remain here for as long as that's the case, and we'll be providing more updates. The next National Hurricane Center update will be in just less than 90 minutes from now, with their full update following 3 hours later. But I know it's getting pretty late over there in Texas, Isaac. So you can leave at any time if you wish. But we're sort of winding down here a little bit. But we'll continue with the updates as soon as we get them. It's going to be a bit difficult with me just here on my own, but I'll survive.
I'm here.
Oh, hi.
I messed up my time schedule. I have like 30 minutes left.
Oh, you do? Well, how about
Yeah,
that?
somewhere around that
I've been
ballpark or
saved.
something.
Hey, I don't mind talking on my own for a while. Sometimes it's easier to not compete with other people talking. But hey, not right now because you know there's not much to say. There's not much news coming out of Haiti. There's not much else to talk about. Jamaica isn't really getting hit, so there's not really much to say about Jamaica. Just to keep watching.
Yeah.
As for Cuba, the storm hasn't really made itself felt there yet. That's going to be a good 12-24 hours away. And, you know, even longer for the rest of the... So, people... I think people might be under a false impression coming into the stream that this Florida storm is going to happen a lot sooner than they think. But it's a good 3 days away still.
Yeah. Plenty of time to prepare and keep a close eye on it just in case.
Yeah, I mean, 3 days from now, we're coming into the early hours of Tuesday, so Thursday night, Friday morning is when people are going to start feeling the storm in Florida if it does what it's forecasted to do. But how often does that ever happen?
Yeah. Have we looked at wind shear lately?
I haven't, but as far as I'm aware... Well, let's go and grab a wind shear map then, whilst we're here.
Seems to be, looks to me maybe around 10-15 knots of wind shear, but that's because of like the way how far it is. It's on the zoomed in imagery, or Atlantic wide, but it seems to be controlling its environment a little.
Okay, so the wind shear graphic is visible here on the screen. Ah, that's out of date. Let's get an up-to-date one. There's an up-to-date one. So there's the latest on the storm in terms of wind shear. So what on earth do these graphics mean? If you've never been confronted with them before, I'll explain it to you. First of all, the color gradients in the background. Okay, wind shear. In layman's terms, low amounts of wind shear mean that the storm has a good environment. High wind shear kills storms. That is the basic sentence for that. So, the colors... So, yes?
Oh, a great example of wind shear killing systems is Typhoon Croza in 2013. Just look at that and you'll find out what wind shear does to systems.
So, the colors... The color code. So we start with the blackish color there, which indicates virtually no wind shear. So that's great news for storms, and if they want to intensify. Conversely, you've got the orange and red areas, which means prohibitively high amounts of wind shear, and you can see those are enveloped all around the storm, but not over it. The yellow zone is sort of in between, moderate, and anything less than yellow is favorable for hurricanes. So as you can see, Matthew, I don't know whether it's created its own low wind shear environment, but either way, it's got low wind shear around it and it's actually decreasing. So if the land wasn't there, I would say that Matthew would definitely be a Cat 5 in the next 12 hours. Because Haiti is there, it might be more difficult, but there's a possibility is still there. And the HWRF says it will. Not to say it will, but it could. But the wind shear is low, at least for the next 24 hours, all the way into Cuba. So definitely people in those hurricane warning zones need to take this very, very seriously. It could even reach Cat 5. We have to stress that. But either way, it won't make too much of a difference. Because obviously except the epicenter for the landfalls, where everything will be flattened. But elsewhere it won't make too much of a difference. It will still result in huge amounts of rainfall, huge amounts of significant storm surge, possible, probable flooding and landslides, and, well, certain that people are going to get killed. It's already happened. At least 2 fatalities so far in Haiti, if you didn't know the news. And I don't know if that's even higher now, but that was there was 2 the last we knew, and the storm hasn't even reached Haiti yet. It's still around, as far as I know, maybe 70 or 80 miles away from making landfall at this point, and it's moving, what, barely 6 miles per hour, something like that.
At least something like that. Oh, and Nathan, Recon is looks like it's trying to get one more go into the storm. They're turning back into the center. Last update, still at 96 knots, going into the center again. If I could speak again, so we should be getting readings out of that very soon.
Okay, well, do let us know on that. But all I can really say to anyone watching is just making remarks on what I'm seeing in front of me, and if anyone wants to ask any questions. The 4 o'clock image has just come in, and it is showing something interesting. The cloud tops are still really strong around the center of the storm. The eye is still not particularly strong on satellite imagery only. Let's not forget some drop-ons from the hurricane hunters, some devices that they send into the storms. They drop it out the plane, and it lands, and it gives out readings, and they measured an eye temperature of 28 Celsius. Now that's important, because an eye temperature that high usually corresponds to a Category 5 storm. What you look for in a very strong storm, you look for cold cloud tops and you look for a warm eye. If you get both of those, you've probably got a Category 5, depending how cold the cloud tops are. Now take a look at this image on your screen. The red areas are cloud tops of minus 70 Celsius or lower. The yellows are minus 80 Celsius or lower, and those are very intense cloud tops indeed. And as you can see, the minus 70 area is just off the coast of Haiti, and bearing in mind that this image is half an hour old, it will be even closer than before. And then the center of the storm, which according to that satellite image has an eye temperature of around minus 55, which is a massive discrepancy to what the drop-ons say. So even if you were to put it somewhere in between, pick the halfway mark, so you have what would it be halfway between minus 55 and plus 28? Let's call it minus 20, minus 10, minus 15. That would correspond to a high NCAP 450, maybe 155 miles an hour, looking at that thing right now in front of you. So that's the sort of ballpark we're talking about intensity-wise when it comes to this storm right now.
Let me look at dry air. I haven't looked at dry air in a while. Wonder what that looks like. Not too much dry air. In fact, I don't really see any dry air at all. Looks like it's all dry air that came at it off.
Yeah, and just briefly, let me take you to this here. This now it's changed. This is the latest model runs on the storm. We've got time, so I'll talk you through it all. On the far right, you see that squiggly blue line that seems to be doing something random. That's the UK Met model for the Invest in the Atlantic, not related to Matthew whatsoever, so disregard. And then you've got the rest. First of all, that black line that's moving in a straight line, that's nonsense, basically. It's an extrapolation, and basically it extrapolates the storm's present movement and present speed, and then takes it out to sea if it was to move in the same direction the whole time. So let's get onto the actual models. And you can see that the consensus has shifted west again, and a lot of the models now taking it just off the Florida coast, sort of skimming or paralleling the Florida coast, almost like David of 1979, but a bit further off, and then off towards the north and northeast. Notable exceptions, the BAM series of models, but pretty much all of them, in fact 2 of the 3, take the storm into Florida, but call for a rapid turn to the northeast rather early, to the point where Florida is the only US state affected by the storm, which would be an interesting scenario. All the other models that predict a landfall, apart from, I'm not sure if some of the eastward models, but the westward ones, predict the storm affecting multiple states. Curiously, with the BAMS model, the one that predicts a landfall not far from Miami, takes the storm west early on. So if the storm was to deviate west in the next 12 hours before that Cuba landfall, then we'd be looking at something rather interesting and following that line of thinking. But you can see the Muller consensus is firmly on an eastern tip of Cuba landfall, and then over the Bahamas, almost directly over the capital, Nassau, at which point it could be a Category 3. So that could be the biggest threat to the Bahamas since, I don't know, probably Irene. So that's potentially a big threat. Well, that part of the Bahamas. Of course, Joaquin was much worse for southern parts of the Bahamas, and for that area it is the biggest threat since Joaquin. But in contrast to Joaquin, where the models were wrong and it moves southwest, this storm probably won't do that due to the dynamics of the atmosphere around it.
Interesting. Recon hasn't updated yet, so let's wait a little bit more for that.
Yeah, we'll be waiting on that.
Oh, there it is. It just updated right now,
has.
just as I speak of it.
How about it?
Not the pressure hasn't been loaded yet, but the wind speed still 113 knots, probably higher than that, most likely. Looks like they got into the center, because I see an area where, looks like maybe they got in the eye wall, maybe barely into the center. It looks like about the wind speeds, and then now they're getting out of it, and I don't know if they're gonna do another pass or whatever, but we'll have to wait and see when the information comes out. Nathan.
Yeah, indeed. And we follow this on a meteorological perspective. Can't get my words out anymore. Hey, I've only been streaming for 8 hours. Don't worry. And we take a look at these storms. We take a look at the measurements, the observations. We want to be right on its intensity, but at the end of it all, it's the human side of things. Haiti, regardless of what happens with the storm's intensity now, whether it becomes a Category 5 or not, Haiti's going to get slammed by a monster of a hurricane, the likes of which hasn't been seen in Haiti since at least the 1960s, and they caused horrendous problems as well. And unfortunately, I don't see this storm being an exception to that rule. Indeed, not so strong storms have caused terrible damage in Haiti as well. It's a bad situation. It's going to get worse. I'm not sure what we're going to do in terms of the stream, whether we're going to keep rolling for much longer or not. I sort of feel like we're running out of helpful things to say. But, people probably want us to stay here, so we will.
Mm-hmm.
And we're just watching
as much
the storm as everyone else is, basically. We're just as much a viewer as you are. So let's reiterate the warnings. Are you laughing at what I'm laughing at?
Oh no, I was trying to load something and it didn't work out too well.
Let's reiterate the information from the NHC. The Wind speed 145 miles an hour. The pressure 934 millibars. The warnings and watches as follows. Watches and warnings. Hurricane warning in effect for Haiti, the Cuban provinces of Guantanamo, Santiago de Cuba, Holguin, Granma, and Las Tunas. The southeastern Bahamas, including the Inaguas, Mayaguana, Acklins, Crooked Island, Long Key, and Ragged Island. The central Bahamas, including Long Island, Exuma, Rum Key, San Salvador, and Cat Island. And a hurricane watch is in effect for the Cuban province of Camagüey, Turks and Caicos Islands, northwestern Bahamas, including the Abarcos, Andros Island, Berry Islands, Bimini, Eleuthera, Grand Bahama Island, and New Providence. A tropical storm warning for the Dominican Republic from Barahona westward to the border with Haiti and Jamaica, and a tropical storm watch for the Dominican Republic from Puerto Plata westward to the border with Haiti. And I guess whilst we've sort of reached a lull here, I'll read out what the NHC's discussion was from 4 o'clock my time, 11 o'clock on the East Coast, nearly 2 hours ago. An Air Force Reserve Hurricane Hunter aircraft this evening measured 2 peak winds of 125 knots, which is 145 miles an hour, in the northeastern eye wall. The lowest pressure measured by dropson has been 934 millibars, down 6 since the previous flight. And based on that data, the initial intensity had been increased by the National Hurricane Center to 145 miles an hour. Continues to move a little east of due north. It was moving at 7 knots at the time, 8 miles an hour. There is no change to the previous short-term track forecast reasoning. Expected to move northward around the western periphery of a strong deep layer ridge for the next 24 hours, followed by north-northwestward motion at 36 and 48 hours. That portion of the new forecast track is essentially the same as the previous advisory, bringing Matthew over the southwestern peninsula of Haiti tonight and near or over eastern Cuba on Tuesday. Beyond 48 hours, the GFS model has again trended westward and now lies close to the UK Met model track. This change might be related to the mid or upper level trough currently located over the eastern Gulf of Mexico, which is now forecast to split, with the northern portion lifting out to the northeast and dissipating whilst the southern portion cuts off into a low pressure system. They spelled off incorrectly, they spelt it of, that drops southward over the northwestern Caribbean Sea by 48 hours. Lots of blah in that. Only slight weakening is expected during the next couple of days, but you know, what we've seen so far, it could be even strengthening. So just rounding off the key messages, Matthew, according to the NHC, Matthew is likely to produce devastating impacts from storm surge, extreme winds, heavy rains, flash floods and mudslides in portions of the watch and warning areas in Haiti, Cuba and the Bahamas. Please consult statements from the Meteorological Services and other government officials in those countries. Direct hurricane impacts are possible in Florida later this week. Tropical storm and or hurricane watches are likely tomorrow morning for portions of the Florida Peninsula and the Florida Keys. That becomes this morning now on the East Coast. Tropical storm or hurricane conditions could affect portions of Georgia, South Carolina and North Carolina later this week. We've sort of discussed these sorts of possibilities already, and we will continue to do that at this point. As we probably enter the next hour, we'll probably discuss that more. And just a quick word on Chaba, which is still heading off towards the northwest over the East China Sea. It's past the Japanese islands and it's over the water right now, and could be a problem for the Korean peninsula and indeed for southwestern Japan, the main islands, in particular Kyushu.
Yes. I've looked at the models already, the forecast models.
Yeah, I looked at the model spread. I didn't go through the what Hank often does. Seems a bit cumbersome for me. But
ZOC is already out.
Sorry?
ZOC is out, or almost fully out.
Already? Oh.
Yeah.
0. I thought you meant 6 for a moment. Yeah, that's been out for a while, I believe, at least an hour. So, what do you think?
Well, Looking at HWRF right now. Shows it.
Oh,
See what
yes.
it does.
That
Oh
would...
wow.
Uh-oh. That doesn't sound good.
It shows it hitting Hispaniola with 125 knots, which I believe is 130 miles an hour or
125 knots.
135.
That's its current intensity. 145 miles an hour.
145, yeah. As a Cat
Yeah,
4.
well, that's not as bad as what they were saying the last run.
Hmm?
They
looks
said
like it's
Cat
saying-
5
it looks-
landfall last time.
And then again, it makes another landfall in the extreme southern portion of Cuba as a 125 knot system. Again, goes into Bahamas, starts weakening a little bit into a Category 3, stays Category 3 for a while, weakens, starts strengthening back up to a 3, high end 3, starts expanding in size as it parallels the coast, weakens a bit, and then hits North Carolina with 75 knots, which is, I believe, 85 miles an hour or 80 miles an hour.
Hmm.
If I'm correct, if my
What do you say,
wind speed
75 knots?
yeah, 75 knots.
Yeah, 85
believe
miles an
that's-
hour there. Category
Yeah.
1.
And then goes out to sea. Might try affecting outer portions of the eastern coast, and then just after that move out to sea and die off, and probably turn off into an extratropical system.
Yeah.
Let's see, GFDL. What does that think? If I could zoom in into it.
Yeah, unfortunately we can't
Probably.
see it. We're aware of the issues. Do let us know.
Goes doesn't make landfall in Haiti, but comes close to it as a 134 knot system. 10-minute wind speed. I'm looking at. Yeah, I'm looking at 10-minute. It's Cuba as a 99 knot system, which is
99. That's low.
yeah 99 knots. I'm looking at 10-minute. GFDL 941 millibars too.
Oop, that's interesting.
Goes to the Bahamas. It comes very close to one of the islands, or actually hits the island with 99 knots and 940 millibars. Looks like it comes close. Yeah, it comes very close to Florida.
Uh-oh, coughing fit
Comes very-
alert.
Oh wow! It comes extremely close to Florida, but doesn't make a landfall. It's a Category 3. It looks like comes very close to it, but doesn't make a landfall. And it looks like it tries making landfall in South or North Carolina as a Category 3.
Alright. Well, as we reach the 1 o'clock hour on the East Coast, not far away, we're going to take a break for around 7 minutes or so. We'll be back at the top of the next hour with more live coverage of Hurricane Matthew. We'll be entering our 10th hour, believe it or not. How did that happen? This is Force 13 Live. Stay tuned.